I think back to what that dragon-like creature had told me about how I'm here for a reason, that this has all been planned out. Planned out by parents who seem to be completely frustrated at the behavior of the wolves and their inability to follow through on their plans. For a brief moment, I wonder how much more smoothly things would have gone if I had been abducted by someone like Neferu and taken to somewhere like Chemia. But then I wouldn't have met Amicus. Besides, it seems like it's just the wolves that are giving the parents problems, not the other siblings. Which reminds me of the only bit of advice that the parents had given me. Watch the cat. Spy on Alexios. That's something that I think I can do, if I'm careful. Despite the new level of scrutiny I've fallen under, I've also been walking around the halls of the palace for the past few days without incidents. I've even come across Kato a few times. But for whatever reason, he's completely ignored me. All for the better. So I start to scour the palace for the cat. He's actually pretty hard to find when he's not looking for you. But I at least know that he's usually in the gardens, if not in the hallways watering the plants. So after eating a quick lunch, I decide to start my search in the gardens. I look back and forth through the foliage as I walk quietly among the various pathways. It's quiet, pleasant, and peaceful. But after everything that's happened, it has an ominous edge to it. Like someone could jump out at me at any moment. I do this for about half an hour before I start to realize how fruitless this search might be. Alex would be hard to find even if he was out here. And besides, he could even be all the way out in the city doing his ambassador work, whatever that is. Just as I'm about to give up, though, I hear something. Sniffling, gasping, and crying? I pause, listening. It's a bit difficult to hear through the slight rustling of leaves in the wind, but there's definitely someone out here that sounds upset. I can't really tell who it might be since it sounds like they're trying to keep quiet. That, and there's another sound too. Another voice, and this one I recognize. Alex. It's a soft, murmuring sound like he's soothing someone. Probably the person who's crying. I wait there a few moments, waiting to see if the sound fades or gets closer, which would tell me if they're moving, but it stays constant. So, convinced that they're sitting down, or at least standing in the same spot, I creep closer to where the sound is coming from. It's in a secluded part of the garden, coming from a small square that's surrounded by trees and bushes. I'm familiar with this square, the one with the statue of Drusus, where I'd been laid out to die. I know that I can't use the little path that leads to the statue. I'd be seen for sure, so I walk up to the bushes that surround it and start looking for a break in the various branches and leaves. The sobbing sounds continue, and I can hear Alex's voice more clearly now. I still can't quite tell exactly what he's saying, but I catch the occasional "don't worry" and "all is well." I can't imagine what's happening in there. I start to wonder if this is exactly what the parents had hoped I would come across, and my heart starts to hammer in my chest. Am I about to find something that's going to help me out of the mess we're in? I finally find a thinner coverage in the foliage, and I'm able to see through. First, I see Alex, his back to me, crouched on the ground in front of the statue. He's draped over something. Someone. Hugging them. His face pressed to the side of their head. I can only see their ears and parts of their shoulder, but I know right away that it's Cassius. He's got his head bowed deeply toward the ground, his paws to his face, shaking with his sobs. Alex hugs him tightly, whispering into his ear, clearly trying to comfort him. Cassius only responds with an occasional shake of his head before finally blurting out, "But am I a fraud?" His voice squeaks uncharacteristically on the last word, and Alex responds with a gentle shh before nuzzling the wolf's muzzle. I watch for a few more moments before drawing back, feeling uncomfortable, knowing that this is a private moment between the two of them. I know now that this won't exactly help me in any way aside from making me feel even worse for Cassius. Still, I've found Alex, so I move away, toward a bench that's further up the path, one that gives me a good view of the entrance to the square, and at a distance that won't make me seem suspicious. A good 10 minutes pass before there's any movement. First, Cassius comes out, in the process of straightening out his armor, his expression blank as he stalks off up the path, away from me. I wait a while. A good while, maybe another 5 minutes, wondering if Alex somehow took a different exit from the square. But at that moment, I see him walk out, looking completely neutral as he looks around. I freeze up, positive that he's about to see me, even though that would be okay. But he instead walks straight ahead, toward the pond. I watch him go for a while, then follow. It feels strange trying to spy on the pet ambassador like this, especially when I have no idea what I'm doing. But this is the only hint I was given to free Amicus, and if this is the only way, then I'm gonna do it. I find the cat at the pillars, already pulling away at the weeds. I sigh and wait, watching for a while, realizing that this could last hours, since Alex always seemed to enjoy weeding for some reason. The cat is so meticulous about gardening here, and I have to wonder why, considering his efforts really wouldn't be all that visible in a garden this big. But I remind myself of why I'm here, and settle down on another bench. One that's also a good distance away so that I won't seem too suspicious if he sees me. This time I sit there for a few hours, occasionally adjusting the way I'm seated as my ass gets sore on the stone bench. And as the sun sets, I realize how boring spying actually is. Around the second hour, the sun has completely set, and I debate just giving up and trying another day. At that moment, a drone suddenly drifts up to me, making me jump and duck my head down a little bit, as if that will help me hide from Alex. Nefarious requests. Shh. I hiss at the drone, and Com's voice automatically dips into a whisper and goes on as if nothing had happened. Your location, and if you need his assistance. Of course, at that exact moment, I see Alex strolling up the path, though he doesn't move toward the palace. Instead, he starts walking up the path in my direction, and I quickly stumble off the bench and into the bushes, praying that he didn't see me as I hide myself amongst the leaves. The drone follows me, then pauses at the edge of the sidewalk. I'm reminded that these things probably can't move off of the grid of the pathways. Just through the leaves, I can see the damn thing's lights on, stubbornly waiting for my answer. At the same time, I hear the soft scraping of Alex's sandals on the pathway as he moves closer. Damn it. It would have been better if I just stayed on the bench. Now this drone is going to reveal me to Alex while I'm hiding in the bushes like the most suspicious person in the palace. I see the green tips of the cat's ears poke above the bushes as he hums softly. I crouch lower in the foliage until I can't even see that. I will the cat to just ignore the drone, but the humming stops and so do his footsteps, and I know that he spotted it. Do you have a stray drone out here, Com? All drone machinery are accounted for, Alexios. What's this one doing? I feel my heart stop, swallowing hard. There's a pause, as if Calm is calculating something. That information is classified, Alex. By whom? Neferu. There's a pause. Then a chuckle as Alex's footsteps pick up again, moving further away to my left. Oh, that jackal. I'm still holding my breath as I listen to the footsteps fade up the path before slowly rising up from my crouch, glaring at the drone. Tell Neferu that I'm busy, but that I'll be back tonight. I have some things to tell him. Message received. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, no problem. I say it sarcastically as the drone floats away off in its slow, lazy way. At this point, the sun has set completely, and I have to wonder why Alexios has headed in that particular direction, leading either toward the gates of the palace or the lake. I follow the path slowly, keeping my eyes peeled for the cat. At first, I'm almost positive that he would be heading for the gate, maybe on his way to the city. This would be the end of my little mission, since I know I can't leave the boundaries of the palace without being hurt somehow. Probably killed. But instead, I spot the cat's form, just barely visible in front of the lake, its surface glinting from the light of the moon. I stop and hide behind a tree, making sure that I'm not close to any of the lampposts. I watch as Alex moves around under the little gazebo with the watercrafts under it. Sure enough, a few minutes later he comes gliding out on the sightseer. He floats over the shore, then out onto the lake, in the direction of the island. I know right away that I'm seeing something important. There's nothing on the island for the cat to take care of, as far as I know. And unless he's going out there for a nighttime outing on the beach, extremely doubtful, then he's definitely doing something suspicious. I wait for a while, watching as the dark form of the cat and the craft get smaller and smaller until they basically disappear, out in the direction of the island. Of course, I know I can't follow him out there right now, but I can definitely tell Neferu about it. Neferu is in his room when I arrive, tapping away at what looks like a transparent tablet. It's an odd thing to see considering the non-existence of portable technology in this palace. Maybe it's a Kemian thing. As soon as he sees me, though, the display slides back into the small metal bar that it had been projecting out of as he turns to face me. Hello, Marco. You were gone for quite a while. Yeah. Care to share how your visit went with Cassius and, hopefully, Amicus? It takes me a moment to remember exactly what he's talking about. After my little trip, everything that happened before it seems so distant. I tried to tell Neferu as much as I remember involving Cassius before the parent thing, and he seems impressed. I suppose bringing Cassius to our side won't be as difficult as I had previously thought. It seems he has similar misgivings about Kato. Yeah, and Amicus is doing okay. Just a bit depressed about everything that's happening, obviously. I pause then, which Neferu notices. Is there something else that happened? I take a deep breath, thinking how best to describe what I went through. Well, when I was coming back, there was this weird smell coming from the meditation room. Neferu raises an eyebrow, and I go on to explain how I ran into Cassius again, and then everything that happened afterwards. When I finish, the jackal is quiet, just watching me with a narrowed gaze. This is usually the look he gives me when he's thinking too hard about something, so I give him some time to respond. When he does, it's hesitant and reserved. Not usually something I hear from Neferu. So, it was a drug-induced hallucination, yes? Well, I guess so. But I think it was real, too. Like, Cassius was there, and he remembers seeing me with him. What's wrong? Well, that is a very primitive way to contact the parents. To put it bluntly, it does not work. It was a method used in the early days during first contact between sibling and parent. They visited multiple times, and in between visits, some siblings, especially the wolves, would try to contact them again via psychotropic drug use. This could occasionally bring visions of higher beings, though they were not the parents, of course. Simply imagined beings conjured up by a chemically imbalanced brain. This is likely what you experienced. To truly contact the parents, you must do it through parental tech. Complicated machinery that is able to transcend dimensions. It is usually only usable by a single person, such as the Emperor for the wolves or the Pharaoh for my people. The Pharaoh stops talking at this point, allowing me to take all that information in. So maybe I had imagined it all, even if it had seemed so real. They told me they had a plan for me and everything. Oftentimes, such drugs stroke the ego of the user. They make you feel as if you are at the center of the universe, as if you are important. Not saying that you aren't. Have you tried it before? I've had brushes with such substances in my youth. Good for experiencing the fragility of reality and how we perceive it. But little else. I see. Still, it sounds like you caught Cassius in a moment of vulnerability. He could trust you more because of it, if you treated the situation delicately. Maybe. I think back to when I saw him crying in front of the statue. But I don't want to tell Neferu about that. Not really feeling it would be all that useful. Or appropriate to share. But this reminds me of what else the parents had said to me. Well, they also told me something else. To watch Alex. Did they now? Yeah, and I did. He's been acting weird ever since I got here, so I spied on him today, and he sailed off to the island in the middle of the lake just now. Neferu's got a strange, knowing smile on his face. What? I just find it interesting that you have similar suspicions of Alex that I did. What do you mean? I've been studying the cat myself, and noticed a few odd things as well, including his trips to the island. I frown. What? And you didn't tell me? Well, this rather desperate situation we're in only came about very recently, and I had little use for this information until now. Well, what do you think he's doing? Neferu shrugs. I don't know, as I've not yet followed him to the island. You can imagine that I'm planning to now that we could use Alex on our side as well. Turn everyone against Kato? Yes. So, if he's doing something bad, then we could use it as blackmail. Essentially. He is the closest person to Cassius, and could possibly grant us access to classified information. I sigh, growing weary of all this backstabbing. If it's the only way to help Amicus, I guess. Oh, there are many ways, and I have a last resort plan in place. I wait, but Neferu doesn't go on. Which is... Well, considering Amicus's birthright, he still has the ability to challenge whoever's on the throne, but... Really? All this time, Amicus could have just challenged Cassius again. Then I realized that Neferu was about to go on. But what? A fight to the death, since the wolves love their violence, though the Emperor would have to accept the challenge. The thought of that instantly makes me feel sick. No way. Again, last resort. I doubt Amicus would challenge his own brother, and I doubt Cassius would accept. At least at the moment. I can't even begin to contemplate a situation like that, and Neferu quickly changes the subject. Anyway, I should be off. I'd like to catch Alex in the act, and based on previous observations I've made, I have another hour to do so. I blink in surprise. Right now? Shouldn't we wait until, tomorrow night? He only goes once a week. Considering how urgent our situation is, I should get this done now. Can I go too? Marco, remember what I said about needing to keep you safe? Yeah, and it's Alex. What's he gonna do? We should be prepared for anything. Well, I think it's better if we both go, in case something does happen and you need my help. Neferu lets out a soft sigh. All right. I'm surprised by how quickly he gives in. I suppose you deserve to be treated as an equal in these plans we're making. Though if Amicus finds out I'm bringing you on these missions, he'll have my hide. I'll let him know that I wanted to be a part of it. As if that will convince him. Anyway, let's be off. Okay. My excitement picks up as I get to my feet and follow Neferu to the door. If we run into anyone, especially Kato, we simply tell them we're out for an evening stroll. Understood? Yep. Despite the potentially dangerous situation we're going into, my mood is lifted knowing that things are finally moving again. Luckily, there's another sightseer craft in the gazebo, though it looks much older and the floor on this one isn't transparent, which I'm fine with. I'd rather not gaze into the inky blackness of the water beneath my feet while sailing to the island. Neferu is quiet most of the time, looking confident in everything he does as he prepares the craft. Finally, he reaches out his paw to chivalrously pull me on board. The lake laps quietly around us as we approach the island, a black mass amongst the ripples of reflected moonlight in the waves. I immediately spot Alex's craft sitting on the beach near where we'd had our little picnic all those weeks ago. We travel a little further up the shore, out of sight of the craft before we drift onto the beach. Neferu holds out a paw again to help me down, even though I don't need it. As I settle on the sand, though, he leans in close to whisper in my ear. Wait here. Unfortunately, I believe simian footfalls are louder than that of a jackal. Okay. But call me if something happens, or you need help. I see a smile on Neferu's face, and though it's amused, it's not in a condescending way at all. Of course, my friend. And with that, the jackal disappears into the night, leaving me with only the little craft and the gentle sounds of the waters to keep me company. I don't have to wait long before I hear voices coming from further up the beach, and I know right away that it's Neferu and Alex. I wait for a few moments to see if Neferu will call my name. When he doesn't, I frown and look around before quietly making my way towards the voices. It's not like I expect he needs my help, but I don't want to miss anything important, and I feel like the moment of confrontation with Alex should involve me. As I get closer, I'm able to make out the words, and I see that the two of them are right on the edge of the woods, standing just a few feet apart. I crouch and hide along the tree line as I listen more closely to what they're saying. Beautiful night. I've always wanted to come to the island to gaze at the moon and planet, away from the lights of the palace. Oh, I see. It is incredibly beautiful here, isn't it? While he's speaking in his typical pleasant tone, I can definitely tell that Alex seems a bit nervous, his voice tight and a bit out of breath. So... yes? Alex looks around nervously. I heard you speaking just before I happened upon you. Is there someone else with you? Me? Oh, no, definitely not. You know, it's rather embarrassing, but sometimes I just talk to myself. Don't be embarrassed. It's something I do as well. Oh, I see. Alex seems to be relaxing a bit under Neferu's treatment, but tenses up again at the next sentence. Though, I usually don't whisper to trees. Now, that is a bit odd. I see Alex's ears flatten, though I'm a bit confused at the statement. Whispering to trees? Alex doesn't seem to have an answer ready and stutters in the most guilty way imaginable. Weirdly enough, though, he sidles up closer to Neferu. Neferu? You're the one that's acting a bit odd right now, you know? The small cat's demeanor suddenly changes to a more sultry approach, relaxing his shoulders and drifting a paw down his body. It doesn't seem natural at all, though, unlike Neferu's smile as he stares down at the approaching cat. He's still smiling when Alex reaches up to cup his cheeks and kiss him right on the lips. I blink, surprised at the sudden turn this scenario has taken. Neferu looks anything but surprised, though, grinning throughout the kiss as Alex tries to kiss deeper. Finally, the cat seems to notice the lack of response from the jackal and he draws back, frowning. Neferu shakes his head. Oh, Alex, you know that's my technique. It will not work on me. Now, why don't we have a look at that tree? Alex freezes up, looking around, and that's when I think he spots me. Who's that? Neferu turns his head just slightly in my direction, and that's when Alex makes his move. He sends a kick sailing between the jackal's legs, and just as I'm readying myself to intervene, Neferu's paws there, solidly stopping the attack. There's a pause. Neferu holding Alex's leg, forcing him to balance on one foot as the jackal's smile turns smug. What a pity that you're not the first to try such a move on me. I've learned people on this moon fight dirty. Alex squeaks but balls up a fist anyway, sending a straight punch into Neferu's stomach. It connects with a hollow thud, bouncing off the jackal's abs like they're made of bricks, Neferu only grunting slightly in response. Oof, now that's a bit more like it. Suddenly, Neferu uses a leg to sweep Alex's only foot off the ground, sending the cat onto his back in the sand. Neferu follows him down, pinning the cat there, almost engulfing Alex with his much bigger body. Ah! Get off me! Help! Alex spots me as I come out into the open, standing next to the two of them. Marco! Help me! The jackal's gone mad! I fold my arms and stand over him, and Alex quickly realizes that I'm definitely not here to help him. What are you two doing? I told you I know nothing, Marco. Why must you keep attacking me like this? Alex continues to struggle meekly under the jackal, not even looking like he's trying to escape. Attack you? Then why is it my stomach that is sore? Alex doesn't seem to be listening, and tears start brimming in his eyes as he begins to sob. Now I'm fully convinced that his sobs in the bathing room were all an act. Marco. I turn my attention back to Neferu, who's still smiling as always. About 10 paces directly in front of me is a large tree, larger than the others that surround it. Do you see it? I look ahead and immediately see what Neferu is talking about. The tree noticeably larger than the others, its branches stretching dozens of feet into the air, the leaves looking like silver in the moonlight. Yes. Go up to it, circle it, see if you can find a hollow. I do as I'm told, feeling a little apprehensive as I step inside the dark woods. Wait, Neferu, Marco, I don't understand. Why are you doing this? I realize at that moment how much I'm trusting Neferu here. I have no idea what's happening at all. The trunk of the tree is thick, enough that I wouldn't be able to touch hands if I were to hug it. I start looking for the hollow Neferu described, and as I walk around the tree, I immediately spot one on the other side of it. I look into the black hole, feeling a bit nervous of what I might find in there. I stop as a tiny red light in the hollow flares to life with my voice before fading again. What the? It happens again, pulsing to the sound of my voice. You found it? Yeah. And there's a little red light in there that's lighting up with my voice. I watch the hypnotic ebb and flow of the light as I speak. Thank you, Marco. You may come back now. Gratefully, I return to the side of my Chemian friend, noticing that Alex's demeanor has completely changed now. He's sullen, though almost expressionless as he lays under the jackal, not even pretending to be trying to escape at this point. Well, that settles it, doesn't it, Alex? Alex remains silent, staring up at the sky. What is it? Neferu looks up at me. Classic Omorphin parent tech. They often combine plant life and machinery to create their gadgets. Rather ingenious. And they've recently been sharing their knowledge with us on Chemia. What a mistake that was. Wait, but what is it? A communication device. It uses the branches as a massive antenna, capable of transmitting information great distances. Though it's likely transmitting to Adastra City. There is likely a second spy there, who then beams the information through a much more powerful machine, straight to Amorpha. Neferu grins in Alex's face. Isn't that right, Alex? And once again, Alex remains silent, seeming to have shut down. So, do you want me to be the one to tell Cassius, Marco? That finally gets a reaction out of Alex, and he stiffens up, fur bristling out as he snarls at Neferu. And for what reason, Jackal? We're all spies here, including you. Especially you. Oh? I have no idea what you're talking about, Alex. Neferu's tone says otherwise. Alex continues to glare up at the jackal, his fur starting to lay flat again. Oh, you think I'm that stupid? You think I just let you fuck me without any regard for your intentions? Without studying you? I know why you're here, Jackal. Do enlighten me, cat. You're floundering here, looking to make a name for yourself. The Pharaoh practically tossed you off the planet to attempt to cultivate a hopeless alliance on Adastra. Neferu's eyes narrow. How unfulfilling it must be to be the second born, unable to escape the shadow of your brother, unable to make father proud. Stuck on this moon, getting your balls kicked in by the bigot wolves. Alex sounds and looks almost unrecognizable. Even your sisters, the third and fourth born, have secured positions of greater prestige than you. I see Neferu grip tighter into Alex, but the cat goes on. In an era where the royal family has already given up so much power, you're desperate, behind that facade of confidence, terrified of withering away into historical insignificance. You'll be less than a footnote in the Kemian history books. Neferu isn't smiling anymore, and I can tell that he's been caught off guard just as much as me by the cat's complete change in character. Still, he keeps his hold on the cat, remarking coolly, I would choose my words more carefully if I were you, considering your position right now. As I was saying, we'll be reporting this to the Emperor as soon as we return to the palace. Alex seems to deflate again, apparently satisfied with the hits he'd gotten on the jackal. What do you want? Don't play stupid. What do you want from me? You've known I was a spy since you first got here, and you're only now doing this because you want something. Oh, how considerate of you. Well... Neferu looks up at me. What do you think we want, Marco? Full access to the archives. Alex snorts. I don't have that. Then get it. We know how close you are to Cassius. Make something up as to why you need it, then grant us access. For what reason? To help Amicus. Cassius will not be harmed by this. You have until next week, otherwise the Emperor will know of your treason. Alex remains quiet, and Neferu seems satisfied with that, pushing off the cat and getting to his feet. Let us be off. The jackal speaks briskly to me before turning on his heel and making his way back to the craft. I look down at Alex, watching as the cat simply stares at the moons, not even acknowledging me. The way back is a bit awkward. Neferu quiet, clearly upset. I haven't really seen him like this before, and I have to remind myself that I probably rarely see the real Neferu. He's putting on an act just like Alex. Just like they both have to. And though I'm curious about his family situation, I have enough sense not to pry. Instead, I ask what I'm most worried about. What's to stop Alex from betraying us? He could just as easily tell Cassius about our plot. The jackal is staring off into the water, his elbows on the railings of the sightseer as he hunches over. He won't. He can't bear the thought of Cassius knowing of his betrayal. The usual confidence and natural smugness that's usually in the jackal's voice is completely missing, his tone flat. You sure? Yes. His love for Cassius is almost equal to that of his loyalty to Amorpha, which is why I assured him that Cassius won't be harmed by our plans. We have little to worry about. The jackal's mood puts me off from asking any more questions, and we sail the rest of the way to the palace in silence. Three days later, Alex is able to gain full access to the archives. He doesn't explain to us how he did it, instead simply notifying Neferu of the specific time he'd open the archives for us and to be ready. I don't have to argue to come along this time. Instead, Virginia tells me that I'll need to go if we're to erase my profile from the palace's databases. Doing this will allow me to leave the palace without being killed by Calm, Just another last resort in case things go bad. Neferu stays behind this time, deciding it to be best considering he's not exactly needed for what we're about to do. Oops. Whoops. Alex walks stiffly ahead of us, not speaking or really acknowledging us in any way. I find it unnerving after knowing the cat for so long, though Virginia doesn't seem bothered at all. We walk to a portion of the palace that I haven't been to very often, mostly because I was never shown the area. Alex comes to a door that he presses his hand to, and unlike the other black panels, this one flashes a green color before the door opens. We walk inside the room, and I get my first look at the archive. I guess I'd expected rows of bookshelves, full of some type of digital storage or whatever the wolves might use. Instead, I'm greeted by the sight of a giant blue glowing sphere, with a honeycomb pattern covering its surface. What's most striking about it, though, is the swirling characters that appear and disappear just over the surface. They're symbols I don't recognize, not any that I've seen on Adastra before. Sitting in front of the floating sphere are two stone dragons, mouths open in silent snarls. Alex seems to be in a hurry as we walk up to the globe. Without hesitation, he sticks his paw into the swirling blue, and the characters and swirls seem to congregate around it before the whole thing pulses. This seems to satisfy the cat as he turns away. That should give you full access. You're on your own from here. With that, the cat leaves. I watch him disappear from out the door, for the first time feeling a bit sad at how our relationship has changed. Virginia remains unbothered though, walking up to the blue sphere as I follow. I stand there awkwardly for a moment before clearing my throat. So, what is this thing? The archive. Yeah, but it looks... It's parental, yes, and no, I don't know how it works. It was also used as a method of communication with the parents before they ceased contact. Hence the meditation pillow. Virginia gestures at the pillow before she leans forward slightly, a streak of blue light wrapping around her head briefly as she leans back. Or before she leans back. It connects to the host brain, similar to the lingua, and operates on mind control. Wow. Yes. I haven't used it often, but it's fairly easy to control. You'll find out soon enough. Oh. I feel a bit nervous, but Virginia focuses his back on the blue globe. Suddenly, a small screen appears over the sphere, and I see what looks like the amphitheater. What day was the final trial? I'm about to answer when suddenly Virginia just waves me into silence, focusing on the screen again. I see the scene change to a bloody sunset, and I feel the same anxiety I'd felt the day that as I see Kato and Amicus appear on the screen, followed by me and Cassius. The angle is high, and the scene is a bit distant, probably from the palace, but I can make everyone out clearly. Cassius strips and hurries down the steps to the amphitheater, and I want to look away, but don't, as Kato turns on Amicus and punches him in the face. Virginia's reaction is small but noticeable, clearly surprised by Kato's brutality. What follows is the awkward, staged posing, and the pin. Then the footage of me using the Nervo on Cassius. This is followed by Amicus tearing off Kato's visor. After that, I run off screen, and I get to watch as drones descend on Amicus and he suddenly goes limp as they, I assume, stun him. Virginia watches all of this with an open mouth until Amicus is escorted away, and Kato is picked up by a small ship that lands in the middle of the amphitheater. Then she shakes her head. Males? Virginia sighs out in frustration as the screen fades. So you got the footage? I've filed it away to a domain accessible by both me and Neferu. We'll figure out a way to use it delicately. And the investigation into the crash? This is something that I'd brought up to Virginia and Neferu before we came here, even though both seemed skeptical that it could be useful in any way. That even Kato wouldn't be so devious as to kill his own friend, a friend that happened to be the Emperor. Even now, Virginia sighs as if it's an annoying inconvenience, but focuses for a moment until she seems satisfied. Done. All documents related to the investigation are now in the same location. We'll go over it later. Well, at least you and Neferu can. There's a momentary pause. Well, that was easy. What did you expect? Parental tech makes everything fast and easy. Yeah, I suppose. So, are you ready to use it? I think so. Virginia smiles at me. Don't worry, it's easy. Simply keep your mind clear of anything except your objective, your profile, and how it should be wiped clean from the archive. My profile. I try to think up how I should imagine a profile, but Virginia stops me. You're already thinking too much. Just this. Your profile, wipe it from the archives. I swallow hard, but allow Virginia to gently push me forward until one of the tendril touches my head. It's a cool feeling at first, but then suddenly my body seizes up involuntarily as it feels like my entire brain twitches. Keep focused on your objective. My profile, gone. My profile, erase it. My profile, delete from the archives. A dagger. Screams. Pain. Blood. Hissing breath. Spurting red. Absolute anguish. Marco! No, please! Don't leave me here! Please come back to me! You can't leave me to be alone like this! Amicus screams right into my ear, and I've never heard him sound like this before. It's horrible, and I know I need to comfort him, to tell him that I'm not leaving, but my voice is gone and air hisses from my throat. No! Speak to me! Amicus's voice rises in pitch, panicking, becoming desperate. Then it all stops. You can prevent this. But only if you submit yourself to the benevolent will of the parents. Will you? Yes. I gasp and pull back, head reeling. I feel soft but strong paws grip me around my shoulders. Are you all right? I look around, wide-eyed, feeling almost sick as that weird feeling of control and brain suddenly leaves. I don't know what to say, and Virginia glances back at the sphere. Might not be suited to a simian brain. Calm? Yes, Virginia? Locate Marco's profile. There is no such profile archived. Well, you did it at least. Let's get you back to Neferu's room. We walk through the halls, Virginia having to help me because of my unsteady feet. I'm stunned, feeling as if I'd just come up from another drug trip. But it's not what I felt, or even the visions of violence that have me shaken up. It's Amicus's screams of the despair that linger in my head. I have to see him as soon as possible. I have to make sure he's all right. And that's a good place to call this one. We're getting there. We're getting there. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.